Louis J. Swift, a retired professor of classics here at the University of Kentucky, where I've been since 1970, so I feel like I'm a Kentuckian even if I wasn't born here. I have been the Dean of Undergraduate Studies here at the university and was the chair of the committee that put together the earlier General Studies revision, which took place around 1988. In my early training in classics, especially in Latin, a very interesting phenomenon occurred. I had a classmate who was having some difficulty understanding a construction in Latin, and I was doing reasonably well in the class, and he asked me to give him a hand. And I can remember as if it were yesterday, standing in front of the blackboard explaining this construction. And after it was over, he looked at me and he said, "Lou, you should be a teacher." And I guess that's the thing that started me off. And so the classics and wanting to be a teacher went together. And after I got my degree at Hopkins, I taught for a while at the State University of New York at Buffalo, which is now called the University of Buffalo. Ran into a colleague, Hubert Martin, as a matter of fact, who asked me if I was happy where I was, and I was not terribly happy. And he said, "Why don't you come to Lexington?" Now, I knew of only one Lexington at the time, and it wasn't in Kentucky. It was the great one in Massachusetts, where the shot heard round the world was fired. So I came down for an interview, and they made me feel very, very comfortable. I came down, I remember my wife telling me that as soon as we crossed the bridge in Cincinnati, she saw how beautiful the terrain was, and subsequently she said, "You can move on, Lou, if you want, but I'm staying." And so both the state of Kentucky and the University of Kentucky have been very good to us, and we've been very happy here. Now here at UK we have something quite special, and that is the teaching of oral Latin, spoken Latin. Each summer they hold a conference called a conventiculum, in which scholars from all over this country and even all other parts of the world come and spend a whole week talking to one another on a variety of topics in Latin. And it's quite a unique thing, and as a matter of fact, it's a portion of the graduate program now, the master's program, which is different from almost any other program in classical studies in the country. When I was chosen as the Arts and Sciences Distinguished Professor, there was a very interesting dimension to that, because the professor who's chosen each year is asked to give a lecture. And so it gave me an opportunity to go back and study the history of the land-grant colleges in this country. And UK's beginning was at that time. So that was probably the nicest thing, other than being recognized by your colleagues, which of course is very special. That opportunity to go back and find out how UK got started, why it is the way it is, and some other things about undergraduate education that I knew nothing about at the time. So it's been a very good experience here for me at UK. So I tell students, if you don't be too concerned about the 4.0, be concerned about what you're learning, and if you enjoy what you're learning and you know that you're going to have to continue learning for the rest of your life, then the university has done a good job. That's what I usually tell undergraduates. If we do two things, if we help you to see that there's joy in learning and that you're going to have to do it to be satisfied as a human being for the rest of your life, then the university has achieved its purpose.